Good evening to you, church family. It's Tuesday evening and just past 7:30, and Pastor Sven and I are here. And I'm just wanting to touch bases with you and update you on just kind of some of the thoughts that have been going through my head. And first of all, I want to say that we truly, as a pastoral staff, we love you all and we miss you. Not being able to meet in person has really highlighted for me something that I think we have taken for granted, is the opportunity that we have day in and day out in this country up until this moment of gathering together and seeing each other and being able to hug and being able to shake hands and just have that interaction. I can't begin to express how much I'm missing that and being able to be with you, and how it's really highlighted for me something I think we took for granted is just being able to be together in person. We praise God for technology. We praise Him for the ability to do Zoom meetings and Zoom Bible studies and live stream church services. But it definitely is not a replacement for that in-person contact. So we love you, and we just wanted to pass that on to you. Something else that has occurred to me, and I might have mentioned it to a couple of people along the way, but and that is that back in on September 11, 2001, when 9/11 happened, the world changed forever. And I want to just say that, in my opinion, this is just me talking to you now, I believe we are now going through the next thing that is changing the world forever. This COVID-19 pandemic is changing our country and our world in ways that we would have never imagined or dreamed possible. And we will not be the same again after this. Things will never be the same as they were. And I believe it's really moving us a step closer to the return of Jesus, which we've been talking about and preaching about for a long time, but maybe not really connecting with the reality of that. Which brings me kind of to the last point that I just want to make on this just brief little update here with you, and that is that I've always heard the statement that folk have read, and I've read at times in Ellen White's writings, where she speaks about end time events and says that the closing movements will be rapid ones. I always wondered how that could happen, and I read it, but I don't think it really ever sank into me. And there always was just that lingering question: is, well, how really rapidly could things happen? I have to tell you, for me, that question has been answered. As we see how rapidly things have changed in our world, I have no question now how quickly the closing movements before Jesus comes could actually unfold before us. When you think about the fact that when it comes to Wednesday, this Wednesday, it will be 2 weeks since this really all began to break. But if you go back to that Wednesday, when really we first began getting news, and it first started hitting the news about the COVID-19 pandemic and really coming here into the United States. Thursday night we got guidance that meetings of over 500 were prohibited, and 250 and up was strongly discouraged. And we began having to surround this and respond to this, going from Wednesday, where really there was nothing, to Thursday with these restrictions. And then by Monday, just 4 or 5 days later, basically being on lockdown mode in many cases. The financial markets in turmoil, having lost 30+% of their value, and all these different things. That's rapid. And so I have no question in my mind that the closing movements will be rapid ones, which really makes me ask myself, how serious have I really been about believing that Jesus is coming? And I want to tell you, I don't think I've been serious enough. And so I'm just sharing these thoughts with you, coming from my heart as I process this and and ask God really to help me get a whole lot more serious about Jesus' return, and then having the answer that Jesus gave to the priests in the temple, his parents, when they, talked to him about being lost those days, and he said, "Don't you know that I must be about my Father's business?" I think maybe more than ever before, it's time for us to be about our Father's business. And I just want to leave a short word of encouragement with you from Psalm 46, because I know that businesses are now really in crunch mode as things get shuttered, and we have no idea how long this economic impact or how deep it's going to go. But I believe there's many small businesses that are going to go out of business as a result of this. Many perhaps family-run restaurants and different things that depend on their in dining in patrons and so on. We have no idea to understand what many people are facing and going through, and you may be in that situation yourself. And so I just want to say to you, Psalm 46 says, "God is our refuge and our strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, even though the earth be removed." And it goes on to say that God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. And I want to tell you, church family, that God is in the midst of his people. He's in the midst of his church, and he will see each of us through. So trust in him, and remember that he is our refuge and our strength in times of trouble. God bless you from your Richardson church staff.